Hey, thanks for tuning in. I'm Trina and I'm really excited to be bringing you another episode of Trina's tips and tricks to get you inspired for the day and share some handy hints so you can smash it out of the ballpark for your business and for yourself. So today I want to talk about the word multitasking. Now, we hear that term a lot, and given the lives that we have that have so many external interruptions, I think many of us feel that in business to really succeed, we need to be fantastic multitaskers. But in fact, the reality is multitasking is basically a myth. I mean, we can multitask, we can talk and breathe at the same time, but when it comes to higher level tasks, it's just not going to produce the results that we're looking for. There's Dr. John Medina, who's recently written a rockin' book called Brain Rules. It was a New York bestseller, and it has all the good stuff, but it basically smacks you in the face with scientific proof that we are biologically incapable of processing attention-rich input simultaneously. And let's say you're in an environment where you're being easily interrupted. So that might be with a TV or surfing the internet, as many of us do, and it's not related to the task at hand. It'll take you 50% longer to complete the task, and you're most likely to make 50% more errors. And if we need to be focused on one thing in our business, it should be about how we are spending our time. You know, time is the one thing that you can never get back, and it can cost you an absolute fortune if you don't use time wisely. So if I were to look back on my successes in business, it comes down to me developing the ability to single task, to focus on one core activity until it's done. So a great tip, and let's get some ideas happening, but go analog for a little while. Get your whiteboard out, get a chalkboard out, get your post-it notes out, get away from the computer and just give unbridled attention to that idea. Another great idea to enhance your focus and getting more done is a funky little idea that I call the one-tab rule. And at the moment, you are most likely watching this video on your desktop, or it might be on your smartphone, but let's just say for a moment it was on your desktop. I want you to have a look around that screen, and I want you to tell me how many tabs you actually have open. And if you were anything like I used to be, I would sit there with about 12 open between YouTube and Facebook and Google Docs and email autoresponders, you name it. I would have all of those puppies open. And it's hard because the general law of the internet these days is that you need to be able to search. So you might be writing your blog, for example, and you're doing a bit of research on Google. Let's say you're doing it on PPC, and you come across an article about PPC, but it's really an article about Portia de Rossi's pet camel. And then you find yourself on Wikipedia looking up camels, for example, that they can be domesticated. You go, ooh, camels' ears are really small and hairy, but I've just discovered that their sense of hearing is really strong, and you just kind of lose the plot. So my advice to you is try and apply the one-tab rule, and it can sound overwhelming, almost impossible, all right? So if you're going from 12 tabs like I did to one, let's start this activity in small steps. So I want you to pick one day this week, maybe call it a Tuesday, call it One Tab Tuesday, and give it a go. You will be absolutely floored by your surge in productivity. Because you know what? We overestimate what we can do in a year. But as humans, we underestimate what can be achieved in our lifetime. So instead of trying to squeeze 100 million things into your next minute or your next hour, I want you to focus on your big picture, that vision of your life, and get to that goal one task at a time. Well, I hope that today's episode of Trina's Tips about focusing on one task at a time helps you get heaps more done. But most of all, I hope that it helps you get one more step closer to that success that you're looking for in your business, and that you can start producing something mind-blowing. Anyway, thanks again for watching. I'm Trina G. Peace.